Hi everybody, we are in week or module number 4, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the interview process. Well, just kind of recapping a little bit what you've learned previously about assessment methods and sources. There's a variety of different types of assessments, both the formal and informal. We've talked about the formal ones that were standardized, and we talked about reliability and validity. We also talked about that it's very precise in how you administer and how you score these types of assessments. Then you also have something that's a little bit less informal. That can be part of perhaps your interview process or a combination with a formal assessment. And these are developed without reliability and validity. There's not usually a scoring administration due to this. And this is where you're just gathering the information. Sometimes we call it intake. We have already talked about structured assessments and where you are really going to concentrate on interviews. So we want to be a little bit more flexible. It's usually informal. They usually have the appointment set up. Sometimes they can get the information to you prior to the first session. Sometimes people have it on their websites where the client can pull it up, fill it out, have it for you. Sometimes people do it as their first session. You're going to get all kinds of information. What's bringing them in? What's the issue? We're not just going to follow up on the individual's history, but we want to know their family history. Is there family history of substance use, of violence? Is there a family history of different types of medical concerns or mental health issues? We want to know what their relationship issues are, if any. We want to know about their finances, their work history, their academic history. How did they do developmentally? Was there any problems during the pregnancy or early childhood? We also want to find out if they have any substance abuse issues, their medical issues. Have they been in counseling before, and how did that work out for them? How about military background? When we're doing the interview, we have to take a look at our surroundings on a number of different levels. One is that where we do it, is it someplace where it can be confidential, a quiet spot? But we also have to look out for safety for ourselves and for our client. If it's possible, can you manipulate the environment to be more home-like, soothing, lower lights, perhaps some light music or nature sounds? Sometimes we work in an agency where we're not able to do it, so we just have to do the best we can. We want to establish rapport, make appropriate eye contact depending on the culture our individuals from. Talk, unlike just me now, talk in a low and slow pace so our client can understand what we're saying, that we appear calm, that we appear confident. We're going to tell them the purpose of the interview. Perhaps they're there voluntarily, perhaps they're not voluntarily. We're going to tell them, we're just going to ask a few questions just so I can get a better idea of how to help you. We are going to tell them about informed consent. They need to sign that. and about the limits of confidentiality. Remember, each state has different laws. Laws change, so we have to keep on top of that. Also, we need to abide by the procedures and policies of the different agencies we may be working for. You're going to utilize both open and closed-ended questions. If we use just closed-ended questions, it sounds too much like an interrogation. Having your set of questions for your interview is usually very soothing for both the client and the new clinician. But as you become more seasoned, you start knowing the questions and you can have it more as a conversation. The open-ended questions allow you to gather additional and deeper, meaningful information. Be aware of both the verbal and nonverbal cues. Remember, over 70% of communication is nonverbal. And put that in your notes also. Previously, we talked about the number of different types of assessments, such as the aptitude, achievement, personality, and intellectual assessments. That these are the more standardized tests. But you can also combine these with the informal, as I mentioned before, as with the checklists or the interview questions. When we're doing the interview, besides getting the information from the client or the individual themselves, we may ask for additional information. Perhaps they've come in with a significant other or another family member, a trusted friend, and perhaps they can also provide additional information if the client is having a hard time retrieving it. Sometimes our clients and individuals are poor historians. We can also have documentation from other mental health professionals or MDs. We can get additional information from teachers. We can send some assessments home with them for parents or for teachers to fill out. All this stuff, all this different type of documentation, all this different type of information helps us gain a clearer picture of what our client is struggling with. It also provides us information about what is our strengths. What is the client's strengths? What has worked before? We want to build on that. What provides our client with a sense of purpose? Our clients are the ones that help direct us to the goals, the treatment plan goals, and the objectives. They are the experts on themselves. Well, we are about halfway through the semester. I'm going to look forward to hearing from you all.